So, did Bungie succeed with the final shape showcase? Maybe? I mean, let's not mix words here. New supers, returning characters, new enemies? Kind of. And a raid that I am super hyped for. Bungie definitely showed everything it pretty much needed to for the final shape to hook us, to get us to buy the expansion and everything. But is it going to deliver? Over the last few weeks, Destiny has not been in the best state, whether it's technically, the state of the game reveals, and everyone just honestly being tired of things not being improved upon. Players have huge, high expectations for this expansion. This is 10 years, count that, 10 years in the making for this expansion. To be real, they probably have not been spending 10 years on it, but you get the idea. So, is a final shape going to deliver? Did this showcase meet our expectations or exceed them, or was it just meh? We're going to talk about that all today here on 5-9 Direct. If you enjoy breakdowns and discussion of the latest and greatest games, then a like and a comment on the video will be greatly appreciated. It's free and helps us out a lot. What up, everyone? Town here, 5-9 Direct, and we're going to get started right here talking about Destiny Final Shape. If you happen to play the game and you want to join a clan, join the 5-9 clan. It's free. Just search us on Bungie's net. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Now, Bungie had a huge hurdle to get over here. Like we stated before, with the flop of the state of the game, the technical state of the game and its servers, and the game just kind of, everyone being tired of it, Bungie had a lot to prove with this showcase. And the big question is, did they? Well, only you can answer that. For me personally, I think for the most part they did. I'm not as blown away as I was with something like the Witch Queen, and I think, again, there's some of that fatigue that we had from the state of game and just the things that have been happening over the last month or so. However, to their credit, they did get down to business right away. They have stated, we're going into the Traveler, we're going to be seeing some new enemies, kind of. We've got some new supers, and we're going to be fighting the Witness for the raid boss. That one in particular is very nice to me. I've always enjoyed raids. Raids are the best part of Destiny. No one can deny it. And I'm definitely looking forward to see how well they can make a raid. They need to redeem themselves after the terrible raid. Okay, maybe not terrible raid, but regardless, they need to improve upon what Root of Nightmares was, because that raid, it wasn't it, Bungie. It wasn't it. So, let's go ahead and break down everything that we saw within this showcase. But real quick, do you like free things? Do you like blowing stuff up? Of course you do. I mean, you're watching a Destiny video, so why not play something else? Expand your horizons, players, especially in the downtimes of the Destiny days. I want to talk to you real quick about a cool game, War Thunder. Now, if you're an old gamer like me who played games like Battlefield back in the days, which unfortunately has fallen on hard times, War Thunder is actually scratching that itch. I have always loved vehicle gameplay when it comes to first-person shooters and everything. However, War Thunder is not a first-person shooter. It is all about that vehicle combat. You want to go into the seas and fight some other ships? You can do that. You want to dogfight in the air with other pilots? Go right ahead. You want to jump into a tank and actually be able to target the enemy's weaknesses on said vehicle like it's supposed to be? Well, War Thunder has you covered. Use the link down below to play this on PC, and you can actually get some bonuses in game. Like I stated beforehand, this is some of the best tank gameplay I've played in a long time, and I am not exaggerating. I am a main tank guy when it came to old Battlefield games, and playing War Thunder, man, I was able to jump right in and play the heck out of this game. Being able to sneak around the bases, capture the points, and also be able to target my enemies from behind, and it actually does more damage like it's supposed to. So if you want to jump into the battlefield and enter some vehicles, then make sure you use the link down below, and you get some awesome bonuses if you sign up today. Again, this helps support the channel, and it's free to everybody. Thank you so much for the sponsor. Let's get back to the video. Now, let's get some actual facts out of the way right now when it comes to Final Shape. When is this releasing? February 27th, 2024. That's the release date. It's been that way for the last few years. No big surprises there. Final Shape, we are actually entering into the Traveler. We are going into that Traveler right there. Sure, there's some jokes in there right there, but I'm not going to talk about those right now. Now, the area that we're going into is called the Pale Heart of the Traveler. This is basically darkness plus light is equaling the Final Shape. The light is obviously the Traveler, the darkness is from the Witness, and what happened with the whole veil nonsense from beforehand, and this is what we're getting right here. Now, according to the developers, this is going to be a personal journey reconnecting with old characters, as we've obviously seen with Cade 6 returning, but we're also probably going to see some other NPCs that we have seen over the days. Maybe they've been killed in the past or anything like that. Looking at you, Amanda. But regardless, we'll have to see what's going to happen here. Now, inside the Traveler, there's gonna be a mix of everything from the beginning up until now. Heck, we even get to see the D1 tower, for crying out loud. And they've also said that this is gonna be a very linear story. This is gonna be very different from our typical open world areas that we've known in the past. Beforehand, we simply enter a new world, we start doing some missions, we wander around the areas, do some public events and everything to kill the time, and then we would go on and defeat whatever final boss we had at the end there. Not this time, however, though. It's gonna be a very linear story, boom, 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 go, 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 mission, mission, mission. Then it's going to open up after that, which makes sense. We're gonna be able to, I'm assuming at least, we're gonna be able to enter the Traveler or enter this world, whatever happens in the story. Maybe the Traveler was all healed and everything like that, but that world that's created, we somehow left the portal behind or something like that. Again, the whole witness going into the Traveler and everything, it's rewriting reality and everything. So regardless of what happens though after that, once we defeated the main campaign story, we are going to be able to explore this world, which is pretty nice. Now, they've also stated that the witness is going to be the final boss of the raid, not the campaign, but the raid. Now, I'm personally happy about that. It makes sense. The witness is the big final bad. It wouldn't make sense to take down the witness in the campaign and then be like, oh yeah, this raid, by the way, I don't know, you're fighting his long lost brother or something like that, which wouldn't make sense because the witness is literally an amalgamation of all these people from whatever world they're from, just in one body now, essentially, somehow, whatever the logistics there are. However, Bungie has stated, though, that if you're somebody who does not like to raid, which, by the way, you should try to raid because it's really fun. However, if you don't have a raid team, though, and you're looking for people to raid with, again, the 5-9 clan, send us a request. We'll let you jump in. It's actually really fun to raid with people. And we like to teach people how to do mechanics and everything. We're not just gonna say, hey, you go ad clear over there. You know, we'll take care of the rest. You wanna learn the mechanics, come on in, and we'll be able to all raid together. Trust me, it's a great experience and it will make Destiny a lot more fun. Going back to the Pale Heart of the Traveler, which again is just the area that we're gonna be in real quick, someone actually made a comment that I kind of laughed at, and it's kind of true. This entire world that we're gonna be going into, all these levels and everything, it's basically the Destiny content vault. If you don't know what the content vault is, it's kind of the dark days of Destiny where Bungie went in, ripped a bunch of stuff out of the game to improve things somehow, and no one really liked it because they took away a lot and didn't add enough back into it. So this is kind of like their way of saying, hey, here you go. Here's everything we've been seeing since Destiny 1. Again, we're gonna be seeing the D1 tower. We're gonna be seeing all these locations and everything that we've had beforehand. And then obviously there's going to be the witness. Off in the distance, you see his throne from the beginning, and we eventually get to there. Again, I don't know who the final boss of the campaign is going to be, but maybe they're going to take a leaf out of the Taken King, where we technically fought Oryx as the final boss of that campaign, but then realistically, the raid was the actual Oryx final boss. Maybe they're going to do something like that. I'm not really sure. It is a little confusing how they're going to be able to make the campaign end satisfying for those who don't like to raid, but still have the witness as the raid boss. I don't know. It will be really interesting to see, but regardless, I'm excited for the raid. I actually really am. Again, just make it better than Root of Nightmares, just saying. Now, with every new expansion, people are always expecting a new subclass. However, back in Witch Queen, though, we got revamps to all of our light subclasses. Well, this time seems to be the same thing. I mean, we're literally in the Traveler, so I don't think we're getting a new subclass. Generally, Bungie likes to use it as marketing, but we are getting 3 new light supers for all of the subclasses, 1 per each, basically. Warlocks, we're basically getting a callback to Radiant. This seems to be able to fire projectiles that hurts enemies, but also heals our allies. So it's kind of like a mix of Dawnblade and Well, which, if you're like me, I'm tired of running Well. I rarely run Solar as it is these days. So here's hoping that this super is actually pretty good. The one thing I am super excited about, though, is we're finally getting the Solar Buddy. If you don't know who I'm talking about, we got Stacy turrets, we've got Threadlings, we got Void Boys, but we don't have anything for Solar. Well, that changes now. We get a Solar Buddy. And basically, it will start to attack enemies if you have it right next to you and everything. Now, I don't know how powerful it is. I don't know if there's a way to upgrade it. I don't know how any of it really works or anything like that. But regardless, we got a Solar Buddy now, so maybe I'm actually going to want to run Solar, or maybe if they have a new exotic that's going to take advantage of that particular subclass and make things a little bit more powerful, to say the least. I'm all for it. Titans, you're up next. You have the Twilight Arsenal super, which is actually a one-off super. Technically, it's more like a three-off super. You basically get a giant void axe and you just lunge it at the enemies, but you get to do it 3 times. And it deals major damage. It sucks them all in, makes them volatile, and explodes. However, that is not the end of it. After that, you and your allies can go pick up said axes and start dealing even more damage. This is going to be really cool for some of those raid bosses, past and present, and also just some big enemies depending on how well they move. Now, if we got something like Rolk, that would definitely be something interesting to test out to see how much damage it does, because that boy moves around a lot. And I'm assuming the Witness is probably going to do something similar. You know, throws the robes off and he's like, yeah, I'm Rolk 2.0, baby. I'm just joking. I don't want Rolk 2.0, but regardless, maybe it's going to be something like that. So that's definitely really cool. Also, another cool thing coming to the Titans is the fact that you're gonna be able to actually consume your grenade, which generally in the past has only been used for warlocks, and you're going to conjure a giant shield, and you're going to basically absorb attacks and block them as they come at you, but you're going to be able to then send it flying back at the enemies, which I thought was definitely really cool. Hunters, you're up last, and you get a new arc super actually called the arc knife super, which basically when you conjure the super, you get 3 times to basically teleport into an area where enemies are, and you do this like big area effect attack basically with your knife, I guess, which is definitely pretty cool. And another aspect is that you're actually going to take your staff and you're just going to become a helicopter. You're going to go up in the air, and while doing that, you actually amplify your allies from the look of it. I'm not sure exactly how long they're amplified for or anything like that, but that's definitely a really cool thing. So far, again, supers looking pretty good right there. Definitely interested to test these out, mainly as a warlock main, but I know my Titan and Hunter main friends are definitely looking forward to those as well. As with any expansion, we've got tons of new weapons. Well, kind of. A lot of these are returning from D1 according to them with some of the exotics. However, they do have some new sub-weapon classes that they are going to be bringing to the game as well. Right now, actually, if you pre-order the DLC right now, you actually get a new exotic fusion rifle, which basically adapts to the Guardians subclass that they have. So basically attach the fusion rifle to your character, and if you're running solar, it's a solar fusion rifle. If you have stasis, it's stasis. So you can actually start to run a triple stasis build in terms of your primary weapon, your energy weapon, and your power weapon now. Same thing with Strand, which is definitely really cool. And you can actually consume your grenade, technically, and you throw the grenade into the weapon, and then you shoot it off for a pretty big explosion. I've been seeing some videos over TikTok and everything already, and depending on which grenade you consume and you fire it off, it does a decent amount of damage. So I'm assuming whatever catalyst we're gonna get in Final Shape, it's kind of the same thing that Quicksilver had, where we got it early, but we didn't get a catalyst until Lightfall. It'll definitely be really cool to see what this does. But so far, people that I've seen using it have definitely enjoyed it so far. Again, like I mentioned beforehand, tons of weapons from D1 are going to be coming back in new ways. We got some rocket launchers, snipers, auto rifles, and all that kind of stuff. Now, on to the new types of weapons they're going to bring, or I guess technically the sub-family of weapons, essentially. There is a new rocket sidearm family here, where basically it's a sidearm, but you're firing little mini rockets and everything, which is definitely really cool. And there's also a support frame auto rifle. I'm not sure if there's going to have pulse rifles or anything after that, but there is a support frame auto rifle where you can deal damage and instantly change it to where you can then fire the auto rifle at your teammates, and it basically heals them or helps them or supports them essentially. We have no details on this yet. It's coming out in Final Shape, but regardless, that's actually pretty interesting. So I've always been an auto rifle fan myself personally, so we'll have to wait and see how good this is, but yeah, I'm definitely interested. During a lot of the showcase, they showed off stuff for Season 22. We're not going to really talk about it here because we're going to have a full guide breakdown on how to do the new events and what to unlock, how to farm things and everything like that. So if you enjoy that type of stuff and you want some guides on that, make sure you hit that sub button. But regardless, there's a lot coming in Season 22, and it looks actually pretty cool, especially considering it's called Season of the Witch, and Savathun and Xivu and all those people, they're back. So it's definitely looking pretty fun. Now, while this isn't coming in Lightfall, this is actually coming in Season 23, so that's going to be around the winter time, essentially. We are finally going to be getting Fire Team Finder, aka LFG, in-game again in Season 23. They've seemed to put a decent amount of work in this, which is definitely really cool. Now, I've always been of the opinion that LFGs are a great way to meet new people, but then bring them into your clan. Not the best way to just only do LFGs. Not saying that LFGs are bad or anything, just generally it can be hit or miss when it comes to LFGs, because sometimes you'll get a really cool group and you're like, yeah. And other times you get some not so nice people. I'll just put it that way. But regardless, we finally get to see this in-game next season, so hopefully it's good. I hope that the extra time that they have been able to spend on it is worth it, and we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen after that. Another thing the showcase quickly talked about was fire team power. Now, if you've ever had friends that you've really wanted to play with, but maybe they've taken a break from the game and they've come back and they're like, oh, you're like 200 power levels below me or anything like that, basically. Well, this is a great thing that they're going to be able to do, not for everything in the game, but basically, if you yourself are at the highest level and you bring in friends who are way lower, you're basically going to bring them up to your power level for that particular event. I believe it's about 5 under, give or take. And then you'll be able to do the event with them. So they're not going to really be power hinged or anything like that, or really have to go farm out levels and bounties and everything just to be able to finally play with you. I definitely think that's a pretty cool change, and it will definitely allow for friends to be able to play together again, because again, people like to take breaks from games. They like to try different things and everything like that. But unfortunately, when you come back, there's a difference in your power level and you're not really able to play together. So this is a great way to kind of mitigate that. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. Maybe I'll finally get my friend Lemon to play some more. The final thing to talk about are episodes. Bungie is changing how they do seasons. They're going away from seasons after Final Shape, and they're going into these episodes. Basically, the way I see these 3 episodes that they already announced are like epilogues. They are stories told after Final Shape, but they are not in any particular order. You don't need to play the first one, according to them at least, and then be able to experience the other 2. So you can experience them in any order. And these are gonna be going for about 6 weeks, give or take. And there's only gonna be 3 in a year instead of trying to do 4 seasons. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how well they're gonna do. We have actually no idea what's gonna happen. If I had to take a guess, my guess is that, again, it's like an epilogue. Once we beat the witness, spoilers, I guess, or do whatever we do to the witness, essentially, we're probably going to revisit some NPCs, revisit some other places and everything, and see how this post-Final Shape has affected them. Maybe also learn some backstories while seeing what's happening in the current present. I don't really know, but my guess is that this is how they're going to handle the next year of Destiny, because again, while the Lightness and Darkness saga is all done, Destiny itself is not ending, because again, Bungie still wants money, obviously. So they're going to be doing this for the next year, hopefully preparing some kind of next big DLC for whatever's happening after the Lightness and Darkness saga. Or maybe these episodes will just continue on and we'll get 3 more episodes for the year of 2025. And then in 2026, we'll get whatever new saga of whatever's happening for Destiny. They can make it shorter or longer. I don't think they're going to go 10 years, but regardless of the case, you kind of get the idea. It'll definitely be interesting to see. I don't know what I'm going to be doing personally after the Final Shape. I could actually potentially take a pretty big break after this, especially with certain games that are coming out. And if there are other games that just draw my attention, I might take a pretty big break from Destiny. But if it is true that I can come back and play these little episode story things anytime I want, that's definitely really cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens after that. So there we go. That is everything when it came to the showcase. Did Bungie deliver? I give it a 7 out of 10, to be perfectly honest. And I think a lot of that is not saying that they didn't do a good job at the showcase. A lot of it's just what's happened beforehand, the state of the game, the state of just servers and everything, and just things that they've said that they would do and they clearly haven't, but yet something like the shop can always be updated, no problem whatsoever, always refreshed and everything. They still need to earn back some trust, in my personal opinion. Can they do it? They can, but that depends if they let the suits talk. And unfortunately, they are a public traded company and they pretty much have to focus on making sure that profits come first. That's just how public traded companies are. So we'll have to wait and see what they're going to be able to do. Hopefully they can actually make the right decisions. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I want to know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you think the showcase was good? Do you think Bungie delivered? Do you think they under-delivered, over-delivered? Who's to say? We know that they don't like to over-deliver anything. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, I've been telling with 5 Minute Direct. Make sure you leave all your comments down below. Thank you so much for joining us in the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and don't forget to sub and keep notifications on for our guides and other discussions concerning all things video games. We got some great stuff coming up with Tokyo Game Show soon, and we got reviews on everything from Starfield to Spider-Man coming out soon, along with some guides with those as well. So make sure you stick around. Again, I've been Talon 5 Minute Direct. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you guys all in the next one. Johnny.